Hello and welcome to IT Security Labs. Today I have a very interesting machine. It's called Inferno and this is by Tryhackme. If you're joining us for the first time, we live stream every Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the reason why I chose this machine is because it claims to be real life. And I like that challenge. I went through this machine and I would say it's very fun to complete. And I hope tonight you will actually learn a thing or two about how to complete this machine on Tryhackme and learn some skills. So thank you for joining live. Because of the nature of Tryhackme, I decided to do this a little different. I tried to record this video, so I'm going to be here. I will play how I did the machine, and hopefully this works out. If it doesn't, I'll explain to you what I did. But the machine name is called Inferno. It's at 10.10.102.124 for me. And if you copy this IP address here and go to our Kali Linux, I always start with an Nmap. In this case, it's an Nmap -A. This is an aggressive scan for Nmap. Right away, you are going to notice that we get a lot of ports. So if this is real life, I think that makes sense that we get a ton of ports on Tryhackme. So because of all these ports, it took me a long time, and this will be a 3-hour live stream, but I started from port 21, 22. Some of them are not even real, but yeah, here's how I did the machine. So I'm going to show you how I did the machine here, and then if you want to see a condensed video of this later, you can. Otherwise, this is how I was able to do it. Hello and welcome to IT Security Labs. Today we have IP address here starts at 10.10.103.93. So let's get started in our Kali Linux here. I'll first start by pinging the machine, make sure that we have connectivity and our VPN is working. Then after that, let's run our Nmap. In this case, I'm doing an aggressive scan. Let's see what's on that machine. And then once we find out what's running, we can begin our enumeration and gain access to this machine, which is fun. All right, so don't let me switching between my video and me here mess with you. I'm wearing the same thing. Because of this machine was very unstable, I wanted us to still have a good experience being able to learn how to do it. So after the Nmap scan runs, this is what we see, a bunch of ports. Like I said, it's a lot. Hello, press that. If you hit enter, now we get a, so just copy this. Let's go back to our terminal and do something like that. Change that IP address to our IP address that we are using. Let's get the correct IP address here. Use this one and paste it right there and hit enter. So this will start our Go Buster, and after a little bit you will notice that our Go Buster will give us this /Inferno tab. So let's go check it out, make sure that we get a good idea of what's there. Let's press that. If you hit enter, now we get a login page. This is very interesting because we didn't see something like this before, and this is a login page. We can try admin password. Let's see if we can get in. No, nothing. So what I do is let's cancel that. I would take that URL, start up with Burp Suite. In this case, I have the newer version of Burp 2020 12.1. Let's open its own browser. because burp now comes with its own browser, so we don't need Foxy proxy. Let me turn interception off for now. This is a Chromium browser for burp. Now we can paste that here. And there we go. Now I'll type the same admin password. In this case, let's turn interception on so we can see what that looks like. Sign in, and there we go. So it looks like what's happening here is our authorization is being base64. So let me see if I can see that. Here's our admin password in this inspector tab here. So you see that this is encoding our password in base64. So this is basic auth. So now we can send this to repeater. Let's look at what the error messages look like. And repeater would show us if you say send. Here's what you are seeing. This server could not verify that you are authorized access to document requested. So we do not have credentials for this tab yet. Thinking from my last video, if you saw it, I just have to go for it and start brute forcing this thing. And two things that we can do is we can maybe use burp for brute forcing, but burp is not meant for big word list, so this will not work with roku.txt. And if we were to brute force this, what we would do just for learning purposes is we'll go to proxy, then we say send to intruder, then we'll go to intruder. In the payloads here, we'll try to paste our payloads, and in this case, since it's base64, would add options here for base64 entries. But in this case, we are not going to be using burp for brute forcing because we don't really know what's going on here. We can make up a word list since we have a few things that we know about this machine. From here, we can read more about what we have, like maybe use this to make a word list, maybe research this machine. What is this machine about? Inferno. Or we can go to the site itself. In this case, right here. Try to inform ourselves of, okay, how do we make a word list? What is this stuff? We go to Google Translate. We'll make it Google Translate to detect the language. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's another quote, which is interesting. So it's in Italian, probably the same quote. So this one will not take us anywhere. Let's view the page source here. Okay, same stuff. We have an image here. We might even save the image. I'm just enumerating our target here. Make sure that we don't leave anything untouched. 1.jpg, and open the tab here. It's clear. Okay, so as you can see, we have 1.jpg. You can run strings on that. Let's just make sure we are not leaving anything. And what you want to look at is if there is anything interesting. In this case, I don't see anything interesting. You can even run more tools on this image to see if there's any hidden messages. In this case, we don't see any hidden messages. So back to this form. Another tool we can use for brute forcing instead of our main tool is we can go with Hydra. In this case, let's go with HTTP form. That one is going to be a better command for us. So you can also find more techniques from this site here if you wanted to use Hydra. Really great example of how you can use Hydra on different things, but in this case, let's just use Hydra. All right, so to brute force our site with Hydra, we say Hydra L for one user. In this case, we're starting with admin. You can pass a word list here, like with a bunch of words. We're going to start with admin, and then capital P is going to accept a word list. In this case, we're just going to use roq.text. Minus S is going to specify the port that we are brute forcing. Minus F for the IP address. Then the method, in this case, is HTTP GET, and we want to go to the directory /Inferno. That's the syntax for brute forcing this site here. And how do we know what type of request this is? If we go to our burp suite here, you'll see that it's a GET request. Let me show you again. There are ways you can put error message in our Hydra command, but in this case, I'm just going to go for the GET request and see if it works. So let's go ahead and run our Hydra command. So this is what you need. If you run it, Hydra will start. This will take a little bit longer, so maybe do something else. Start enumerating the machine on other things. Check other ports that you haven't checked before while this is running. This is sort of like your backup plan, so to say. And this will run for a little bit. And I'm going to stop here and show you the finished one. After a little while, it's going to give you admin and the password here. And once you get the admin and password, we're in business now. Remember, we have SSH port 80 for SSH open, so we might as well go and SSH into our machine. All right, so let's go ahead and SSH as admin on our machine with the new password that we found. Yes, we want to get in. All right, so that doesn't want to let us in. We want to use the password for the site, not SSH. So let's do that. I don't know why I jumped to SSH right away. Let's use it here on the site instead. We don't want to save. Oh, it wants us to get in again. So let's try that again. So this is second sign in page. Right away at the top here, you see it says Codiad. This is typical for sites to give us the header. So we kind of know what this thing is, whether that is the name of the system that we're running or not. I like to start clicking right away. In this case, I'm getting stuff. It's all PHP. But if you double click, nothing happens. Oh, there we go. If you double click, it opens here, which is interesting. That's the languages. Let's go to themes. Let's see if we have any default active. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I can abuse in here. All right, here's a config.php config example. Usually probably not used. Let's try to replace this PHP with our own. Let's stop that. So I have the pentest monkey php sh.php. This is from pentest monkey. All right, so this is from PHP. This is a PHP monkey reverse shell. I'm just going to copy this. Let's go to our site and see if we can just paste it and save it here. All right, there we go. As you can see, we already have some syntax errors in here, but this is the way I would expect to get a reverse shell if this was going to work. If I go to settings, I can change some settings here. In this case, file manager triggers double click. Maybe let's change that to single click so we can actually move around. right taskbar is hover, so we can hover down here to see the right taskbar. Let's save those settings first, and then now if we hover here, let's save. All right, so down here it says file could not be saved. Let me show you what that looks like. If we hover back here again, if you say save all, right behind down here says file could not be saved. So we cannot save this file, maybe because of the syntax in here. But even if you try several times anyway on this, you will not be able to save your PHP reverse shell. That's just the way this is designed. So you're not going to get like any luck here with PHP reverse shell. But it's worth a try. Something else that you can try, which did not work for me, but I hope it will work for you, is you see it says Codiad right here. Open a browser and say Codiad exploit or something like that. You will get some results from Google. The first one here, which we'll use in a little bit, but we also have multiple vulnerabilities right here. I wanted to open this one and show you what we might be dealing with. Here it says multiple vulnerabilities. I tried a few of these which do not work, but at least it's worth trying. I encourage you to give it a try. For example, there is another vulnerability on this site where if you go to here and say marketplace, you can actually have it upload a PHP reverse shell and it should put it in the themes. That vulnerability did not work for me as well. There's another vulnerability where you can have a cross-site scripting. I tried that. It didn't work as well. So if you see multiple vulnerabilities on Google, give them a try. This is an easy one though. The very first one here. If you click on that, this is a vulnerability that this site is vulnerable to. If you wanted to make sure that you have a good idea of why it's vulnerable, let me show you where you can get a hint. If you read one of these things here, either this one, the readme.txt, or the license, it does specifically tell you that this thing is vulnerable. All right, so in this case, it's just spinning. Let's go and read the vulnerability that we found here. So there's a Python script here. Always good idea to open it and see and make sure you understand what's happening in it before you run it. In this case, it's taking a username and password here. So you need to have credentials for this thing, for this script to work. Then you do open a reverse shell on a port that you specify, on a host that you specify. So let me show you what it looks like. First, let's get this code and clone it to our repo. So we go and say git clone and paste that link. In this case, it's going to be Codiad. So we clone it. cd let's go into that exploit. Now ls, here's the exploit.py. Here's the usage that they have for us. Say to specify the URL, username, password, IP, port, platform. In this case, this is going to be our Kali Linux IP address and port that we want to listen on, and the platform, in this case, is Linux, just like this. So we're going to go to our URL, which is this one. Python, and then call exploit.py, our URL right here, and then let's put our username as admin and password like that. And in this case, I want to put the IP address of my tunnel. Let's put that right here. And then the port that I want to listen on is 5353. and let's see if it runs. And in this case, it's like, nope, nope, nope. We need something else. We need to specify Linux. Even after that, saying, great, you need to run this command first in one terminal, then the second one. So we're just going to follow what it's telling us here. We need to run echo. Just going to say copy that in a new tab. Okay. And in another one, it's also asking us to do the same. So we run our netcat listener. So we have 2 listeners for our exploit. Then we can type yes after done. In this case, it says failed. It failed miserably. Username and password. So let's try it. This time, let's put our quotes on our username and password. Single quote. Because that's the part that failed. So maybe it's just not taking them correctly. And let's try it again. And yes. It failed again. So what am I doing wrong here? Please check your username and password. So let me see what I'm doing wrong. One second. Okay. Maybe I have Python 3 installed on my system and my Pythons are mixed up. So let's make sure we give it specific that we want Python 2. And yes. And it failed again. Interesting. All right, so after a long time, let's try something else by doing something like this. This is what some people are saying to do. All right, so this succeeded. I had to spend some time researching this and to specify admin and the password, then the full URL. Now, since it succeeded, come back here, you see that we now have our reverse shell as www.data. So that was not a fun experience for me because I thought it should work right away. So if you have a hard time there, just remember, you need to specify right here the admin and the password at that. So HTTP admin password and then admin and password after that. Very interesting way to do this, but it took me a long time. I was stuck there for a long time. So now that we're in, did somebody just type exit? I'd like to start it again. What the hell? Let's do it again. Yeah, it succeeded. There we go. Okay, so let's fix this shell quickly. I'll usually go to here, my reverse shells. Let's use Python to stabilize it. So interesting enough, somebody's typing the exit command. I don't know why, but it's exiting right away. So maybe I need to be very quick in catching this thing. So let's do that. Or somebody's getting a shell before me on the same machine. Okay, so it says, yes, there's the exit command that is installed. So let me see if I can stabilize it very quickly with Python 3, because it's exiting right the moment I get in there. Okay, let's do it again. There we go. Okay, let's see if the exit command is added again. Let me set my environment path. Hopefully, if it types the exit command, I will figure out why this is happening. But hopefully that stabilizes my shell. Okay. Come on. Okay. So if you catch it fast enough, it will stabilize your shell. Okay, that's fine. I can work with this. It's an unstable shell, but that's fine. I can do an ls. Ls here. I see downloaded PHP, all those PHPs that I had. So that is not bad. cd /home. I'm just going to do some manual enumeration here. I see that I have Dante, the user. Let's go to Dante. And it exited. So something is up here. Either somebody's typing the exit command, because it keeps exiting me from the shell, which is not good. Let me see how I can. All right, so somehow my shell keeps exiting me, like the exit command is being typed. Maybe it's just a bad luck for me, but I'm going to see if I can stabilize it right now. And quickly enumerate. Maybe I just need to enumerate faster. All right, did that do it? Okay, let me try something else. Oh, there we go. There was our exit command. All right, so if we go to cd /home, cd Dante, I'm just going to do it quickly here. Okay, I'm just doing this to show you where this thing is, because I spent some time here. If you go to my downloads, ls-la, again, this is from just enumerating. You see this download.dat. Let's get that. Of course, you need to enumerate further, but I'm just doing this to show you what I found here. Oh, we see some strings here, so that's good. I want to find out what is in that downloads.dat. All right, so we got this down from downloads.dat. Let's see what this translates to. So let's copy it. It's some hexagonal data. So let's go to Google. Something like that. Let's go. Google will do it most of the work for us. So one come hex decoder. Okay, so we have some hex. Let's put it here and see what it says. Oh, there we go. Here's another Latin again, but here in this case we get Dante and this password, or at least what we think is password. So now let's SSH as Dante into this machine and forget this. This was very frustrating. being able to get in there for a little bit and then it exiting, it was really, really frustrating. I don't know what was happening with this machine, but I hope you saw that. Getting to the downloads it took some time of enumerating and getting back in over and over again. This would have been frustrating if this was a live stream. So I'm glad it wasn't. So let's clear that. SSH, in this case, Dante at our IP address. And our password for Dante is going to be this thing that we decoded here. And let's see if we get in. There we go. Now we're in on it with a really nice shell. And here we said sudo -l. Can we run anything? Yes. We can run the T command. So we're not going to even waste time putting any scripts here. Let's go to GTO4B beans and figure out what we can do with T. In this case, I have my privilege escalation here. I have my GTO4 link, and there we go. Search for T with sudo. So choose sudo. So in this case, let's really read this. Right? It says if the binary is not allowed to run a super user by sudo, it does not drop the elevated privileges and may be used to access file system, escalate or maintain privileged access. In this case, local file is goes to the local file to write, echo the data, T-A to local file. This we can actually just craft a quick command for ourselves here. In this case, let's put Dante in the SUID sudoers. That way we can just make ourselves one of the sudoers and become root. All right. In order for us to do that, let's do it this way. Let's define the local file as etc sudoers. Holy shit. This is happening again. Somebody's logging me out. There must be someone on the machine who's doing this. This time it actually logged out Dante. I don't think this is the machine doing that. If it is doing that, that is a terrible thing. It's frustrating. All right, so let's try that again. Let's get back in there and quickly add Dante to and run our commands here. I think there's a user on this machine who's just signing people out and exiting other people's sessions. If there's a script doing that, that is just not a good thing. Okay, so let's start. You know what? Let me just craft this command somewhere else. Then we can put it in there once we have a full command. Let's put it here. So local file is equals to etc sudoers echo. In this case, we want to add our user Dante to our sudoers. So we'll say echo Dante or password. So this is what we'll do. Open in Dante. And we want to say or equals to, this is just the syntax for the sudoers that I'm looking at here. Or, like that. No password. Or, like that. And then we close this. So let's do that. These two commands here, that's what we want. And then this should make our user Dante a sudoer. Let's hope somebody didn't sign us out of our shell. They did. Log out. The logout command was ran. I don't know if this was meant to be stressful or what, but this just is not the ideal thing. So let's go and sign in again. You might have a better experience than what I'm having here. Okay, let's do that. Let's clear that. I'll do that quickly. Paste. All right, sudo su. There we go. There's the syntax. Oh, why is that happening? Sudoers, sudoers. No pass WD, not no password. You see, that's my problem. Oh. Okay, let's see if we can fix that. All right, let's do that again. We might have to reset our machine because we missed our sudoers file. And the system keeps signing us out as if we don't have enough pressure. So that is not ideal. Darn it, it's like we have a minute to do this or else we're signed out. Okay. Okay. It will complain about the syntax. All right, since I messed up my first command, I'm going to reset this machine so that I can come back with a more stable, hopefully a new machine. So let's go back and reset this machine quickly. Hopefully it will be more stable, so I will terminate it in Tryhackme and deploy it. We're just right at the end, so hopefully we get a new IP address that is more stable, and we can also get back in and fix our sudoers. So here's what happened. I messed with my command here, the no password. So here's what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to put it all in one line, and hopefully that will work. Because it was no pass WD, not password that I had put there. That's the right syntax. And I have a space here, which is good. All right, so we have 37 seconds. The machine will be back up. And while that is happening, I really want to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. This is really fun stuff for me. So if you like what we're doing here, please subscribe. It's a good thing that we can have a lot of fun here. All right, let's go back. There we go, and we got hopefully a new IP address, not the same one. 10.10.102.124. Yeah. Then I'll be able to confirm whether it was just my session or something else. Then I can paste that here. And yes, so we have a new machine here, brand new machine. If it keeps signing us out, then we know that this was by design, which is not fun though. But in the real world, they might have a system that is signing people out, so maybe that might be the case. Let's copy that. There we go. We're in. Sudo -l. We see that we have that. Let's see if we can just get it into our sudoers file right away. No need to set that variable. Echo Dante or the password sudo t sudoers. Okay. Sudo su. There we go. Now we are root. ls. Here's proof to text. So we did it, guys. This was a little frustrating earlier for me, but as you can see, we can complete this machine. It's a lot of fun things to learn. If you like this, please like and subscribe. All right, so that was a little fun. I'm glad that I actually did a recording instead of did that live. That would have taken us a long time. But as you guys can see, it's a very, very fun machine from Tryhackme. I did learn a little bit about patience, being persistent, and also enumerating, being able to go in every directory and also make sure that everything is in there. All right, so someone is saying, let's check cron tab. Yeah, it's time for us to figure out what was really happening here because I was getting trolled. So first, let me connect my Kali Linux to a network. This is my Kali 2019 point something undercover mode, and I don't think I'm connected to the VPN anymore, but let me check the cron tab. All right, my Kali machine doesn't have a internet connection, so let's go and figure it out right away. Let's edit our connections. In this case, let me make sure that it's on DHCP maybe. This is a different network. Why not do that? I'm just fixing a network connectivity here. Because I have multiple networks in my house for my labs, and this lab network that I'm connected to is not working. All right, so now we should have a connection. Let's see. Nope. All right, I need to remove the other host here. Let's remove that for now. It's a new network that I'm playing with. I created another network segment for myself. Let's delete this and save that. So if you are creating your lab, let me know where you are. I'm creating a whole new segment in my lab. Make sure that things work. Why is this still seeing the other one? I thought I changed that. You know what? Let's go DHCP. Okay. Let me disable it and enable it back. So automatic DHCP. Now we should get a DHCP IP address. Awesome. And we got 98. That's fine. Now let's try to get back into the server. There we go. That's how you connect to Tryhackme network, by the way. And let's SSH as our user. This is me running the shells and stuff like that. This was actually a little fun. I'm glad that it worked out that way. Let's see if I still have, oh, my machine expired. Let's deploy it again. Deploy machine, maybe. Please do the machine by yourself. Don't just get the hints from me. I think you benefit a lot from doing this machine by yourself. It's really fun. I spend more time than I like to admit on it, but it was fun. Now I'm just getting back in the machine so I can check cron tab. because that's where I was getting signed out. So, all right, so what was happening? What was signing me out? I'm really interested now. What was signing me out of my sessions? Because I'm not seeing anything in here. Did anyone figure out, if you did this machine, let me know what you found out. Because as you can see, it just timed out. It almost looks like we have a minute to be in here. If we switch to user, because we already added ourselves as a host, it will kick us out of the root back to Dante. So we have some time here at least. We need to gain persistence. I think that's a logical thing for us. We'll play this game. Yeah, what is it that is? I thought there's somebody put a script somewhere here. This is where I would bring it to like linps or enum for Linux. Or is it linenum? Let me see if I can get one. Okay, so I do have it in here. So far my persistence is switching back to root and getting okay. I appreciate your help, Kenbeck, because I don't like not having closure. We only have Dante as the user. So this is what I did. What did you run, Dante? Nothing. Here's your local flag if you're interested in that. Sudo as admin successful. What's in that? Okay. Yeah, I agree. There has to be a script somewhere on this system that is that keeps logging people out. And back to my notes. All right, I can't. At this point, I was. Yeah, I think there's no bash history here. Yeah, so the way that I did this was I was just like coming back in, quickly figure out what I'm doing, and then get kicked out and come back in again. I got used to it, but I don't think that is the ideal situation here. I think the creator for the machine was trying to teach us that when that is happening, we need to be able to stabilize ourselves so that we can get a better foothold than what I was doing. Yeah. So it looks like they were like, well, once they become root, log them out. If they are Dante, log them out. If they are www data, exit. Let me see where I can find that script. Oh yeah, what is the full command to do that? Can back for the files that changed. Because I can do that is root. I can check any files now that I'm here. Let me figure out the command. What can we do? One second. This is what happens. You get hooked to something, and you're like, now I want to know. Or I can run a find command. running command that no. Actually, I found this nice find command here from Stack Overflow. Let's see if this one will find it. No. Let's try one more. Or in this case, if we don't like this, we can create our own user. Hopefully we can gain persistence that way. So if you haven't done this machine, I encourage you to do it. It's relatively new on Tryhackme. There aren't a lot of people who have done it, and it's rated as medium, so it's definitely a medium machine, and they say it's designed to be real life. So spend some time doing that. Another machine that I also suggest you do is the one that we did last time, which was a fun machine. Let me show you. What was that one called? TO2. This one. It's also a fun machine. I could not get NPass. All right, let me try to run that command. In 1 or 10 do. So you mean that will just spawn 10, and then the script will go closing one at a time for that command that you posted there, which will be very interesting. Yeah, this machine trolled me for a day. It was fun though. I couldn't pass, and it looks like more people have came back here and attacked it more. So that's my next machine. Hopefully this week I'll be able to get it. But it definitely trolled me. TLC2 is easy. Inferno is just trolling. Alright, I will not spend too much time trying to gain my foothold here. I'll probably bring it back next time. in my next live stream on how or if I find something. But if you haven't, just go on this machine and hopefully attack the machine. What I wanted to say before I go is that this right here, there is a really fun exploit that you can play with that I think should have worked, and you should definitely try it. This one, this almost worked for me. I was able to upload files to this Kodiak application, like reverse shell, PHP reverse shell, as zip files, and it was actually executing them. I think this was a more fun and elegant way of getting in there than the Python script that we got. So if you get a chance, use this way instead. This one, the cross-site scripting vulnerability here, it's more fun. I would say I couldn't get it to work on time, but I'll definitely make sure that I practice this one, because I like a little challenge, something more exciting than someone's Python script that I'm just pointing and running. And in this case, the Python script wasn't even clear to run. You kind of had to play with it and make it work. So there is something to be learned about pointing other people's scripts. But this cross-site scripting here makes sense, that you are actually pointing to your machine, in this case my Kali Linux machine, and uploading a malicious plugin in this case. Yeah. Nice, Kenberg. You know, I'm actually thinking of making my own machines, because there are some things that I would like to do to other people too. Because a lot of people who make these machines troll me a lot. Like by the time I find out that I'm trolled, I would have been invested. Like the last machine, they forwarded us to a video, to the Never Give Me Up video on YouTube, when we thought we had found something secret. So I would definitely want to take my skill to the next level, where actually I end up making machines, making them more fun. Because I've done a good number of machines between Tryhackme, Hack the Box, and VownHub. I've done more than 70 machines, and I've seen all kinds of trolling, which is really fun. Alright guys, thank you very much for joining me, and as always, I appreciate when you join in this learning journey. Cybersecurity for me is a long-term journey. I take it easy on hacking. I'm probably going to be doing this for a very long time. I'll never stop attacking machines. So thank you for always being here every Sunday, and hopefully if we do this for 5 consecutive years, everybody who's been here will learn a thing or two, and I'm also hoping to build my skills that way. So I really appreciate when you join me every Sunday at 9 p.m. Otherwise, also consider subscribing to my channel. That tells YouTube that maybe I have something interesting that people should watch. So like this video and subscribe. Otherwise, thank you, and I will see you next time.